Joe, do you think that not having AD and LeBron dress tonight and play negatively impacted your team and your compete level because the guys didn't look ready to play at the beginning?
So I think we have to look at there's two sides to the coin. I think it positively impacted them and negatively impacted us. So I think it was a combination of both for sure.
How do you think it impacted you guys?
We didn't play as hard as they did. They played inspired. There was 70 minutes and 35 shots available for multiple guys, and the guys on the Lakers team took advantage of it, and we just didn't play as hard as they did. So I think it's both, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask the share between effort and execution in this one. How much did both of those weigh into, especially that first quarter?
Yeah, it was weird because we were only down 3 after the first quarter, but it felt like we should have been down a lot more.
In terms of the turnovers, 9 there, what would you credit many of those to? I think you ended up with 15 in this one.
Did you watch those 9 to start the quarter?
Yeah.
Those were pretty fun, weren't they? Yeah.
What do you think led to those?
I don't know. I mean, it just happens. I think that's how the game goes sometimes. There were some pretty interesting turnovers, though, weren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Adam, then Chelsea.
Over here, Joe. When you came in, you said, "Welcome to the NBA." What is
Yeah.
it? You're.
Oh,
feel
it's
like,
great.
hey, this
It's good. I just
what's
think,
good about it?
I just think you look at it just happens. Stretches of bad basketball happen. So you work your butt off every day to minimize those, but stretches of bad basketball happen. And we can't sit here and act like that we're too entitled for it to happen to us. It happens. And it's a matter of how we respond to it and can we work through it. And they're just constant daily choices, daily habits that you have to commit to every single day. And to think that we're not going to go through difficult times during an 82-game NBA season is not the right way to look at it. So am I pissed about losing? Yes. But am I ecstatic about the opportunity for us to grow as a team? I'm even happier about that. You know?
I was just going to ask, is it disappointing to fall at home to a team that was out without their 2 superstars?
Disappointing. I mean, I'm pissed, but like, what are you gonna do about it? Am I gonna, if we do, like I said the other night, if we hang on to this one, then we won't be ready for practice on Saturday. We won't be ready for Memphis. And so, yeah, I'm pissed, but like, it's about what you do. So when you're pissed about it, I'm not gonna sit there and continue to like think it. You're just gonna figure out how to continue to work, you know. But I said it a couple games ago. I anticipated at some point during the season a tough stretch of basketball for our team. If anybody here didn't think that was gonna happen, then what are we doing, you know? So it's a matter of how we work through it, and I think we'll judge how we, respond to it, you know?
Gary, then
Joe, it's one thing to, you said rough stretch of basketball. It's one thing to miss shots and not execute. It's another thing not to play hard, and to get booed and guys not get back on.
I don't mind getting booed. It's good for you.
Guys not get back on defense, transition baskets after you guys make a basket. Like that has to be a concern, that the lack of effort as opposed to like missing shots or just not executing.
I'm not concerned by it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not concerned by it. I think it's unacceptable. Doesn't mean that like I'm concerned. We'll work through it. You know, I think part of bad stretch of basketball is physical just as much as mental. And I think those two things go hand in hand, you know. So I think it's unacceptable for those things to happen. But if you take a look at the whole scope of our season, they happen very little. And so to look at everything with just this lens of like 2 games or a stretch or a week or whatever the case may be doesn't do the justice of the process of what we do over a long period of time. So that's unacceptable. Make sure you know that. But at the same time, it's going to happen, and it's a matter of holding guys accountable and working through it.
But it's something you probably, you had a meeting with them before the game. You probably told them, hey, guys, let's not let down since they're missing LeBron and AD, and it still happened. How frustrating is that?
You know how many things I tell them that still happen? That's like coaching all the time.
So the goal is...
You have kids?
No kids.
Oh, man, then that's why you're asking that question. If you had kids, you wouldn't even ask that question.
Yeah, but these are grown men.
Yeah, but you're adult. I mean, you married?
Yes.
Oh, come on. You listen to everything your wife tells you?
I try to, and I get told when I don't. I get told when I don't.
I don't. Yeah.
Joe, from the outside, I think people will characterize this as embarrassing. You're talking about it's good, you got to sit in that, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Do you also categorize it to them as like you should be embarrassed by this? Do you have them sit with that, or like how do you approach that?
I think telling another human they should be embarrassed is very disrespectful. That's how I look at life. I think it's to say you should be embarrassed. That's disrespectful.
So how do you categorize it then?
We're playing poor stretches of basketball and we're not playing well and we suck tonight. There's a difference between saying we sucked at something between like you should be embarrassed. I think that's very harsh. And so there's accountability. We're not playing well, and to me, you can't run from that. Like that's just the way that it is. It's going to happen. Like there's 5 teams in the NBA that have went 72-10, 73-9. Like that doesn't happen very often. So you're going to have tough stretches. So you can't run from that. We're not playing good basketball right now. But to say that, to call another human being that like they should be embarrassed, I just don't think that's the right way to go about it.
Okay.
We should all know that we did not play well tonight. You know what I mean? Like that's a fact.
Okay, so it's choice of words for you.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So is the accountability that when you took Jalen and Kristaps and I think Drew out 3 minutes into the third quarter, was that part of the accountability?
I believe so, yes. And then I've done that to our whole team at different points throughout the season. So, but yeah, I think that's part of it. Mm-hmm.
Coach has like a few moments throughout the year where they can pull out throw a big rock in the water. I guess that's probably one of them, but it seems like this is one of those nights being hyped after a loss like that. So when you say we suck, you're like, we're excited for this opportunity. What's the next step after that?
Practice on Saturday and have a really good practice. Get after it and then be ready to play Memphis. Those are literally the next 2 steps, you know what I mean?
Coach, LA shot 26 free throws. You guys had 7 tonight. Are you okay with that outcome? And during the game, are you aware of that disparity?
I'm aware of that disparity during the game.
Were you hoping to cut into that?
Yeah.
I guess I learned that, players don't always listen, but are you saying, hey, get to the line?
First of all, they do
push
listen. It was a joke. They listen, yeah.
So then how do you explain
Husbands don't listen all the time.
How do you explain the difference between how LA gets to the line and Boston gets to the line tonight?
They put pressure on the rim. We tried to put pressure on the rim. I think, we're the either first or second free throw rate defensive team in the league. And so I think it's just a combination of us continuing to be physical, driving to the rim, and then showing our hands on defense and not slapping down at times,
So what about you guys getting to the line? Because that's
what I said,
that 7 number is...
Drive with more physicality. You can't control if a guy fouls you or not. Can you? Not all the time.
There are players in the league who...
Oh, there are, yeah.
Make a point to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Presented by your New England Ford dealers. Built for America. Built Ford proud.